Welcome back to another video. So I said in this video that I was going to do a full day of eating on a training day, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm off to Powering Through. I need to leave in about 40 minutes to head to Essex to train with a group of people there. I'm 1 week out tomorrow, but I'm feeling good. So currently making breakfast. I thought I would show what I'm having. I am currently making up some homemade kind of, I call it granola. It's more like, I think people call it scrambled oats. Can't get my words out. So it's like scrambled oats with some fruit, some yogurt, and I put some seeds in there as well. So I am currently in the process of making it. It does not look appealing, but I promise you, this is one of my favourite breakfasts, and it's super high in fibre. It's high carbs, so it's very good for a workout. So I'll show you what I'm doing.
Put your hands up.
So in a bowl, I have got 50 grams of frozen blueberries and 50 grams of frozen raspberries. Then in my pan, I have got 1 banana and 50 grams of oats, all mashed up and mixed together. I mash the banana first and then put the oats in. And then I also mix in some cinnamon as well. And then I just heat it up on a pan, fairly gentle heat. It used to turn out a lot better before I moved, but now that I live with gas hobs, it's very difficult to get the temperature right. But it still turns out fine and tastes fine. It just doesn't look as appealing. But yeah, just heat it on one side until it's kind of, it doesn't go crispy, but until it's kind of all the way warmed through and a bit more solid and stuck together. Flip it, and then we'll scramble it up at the end to put on top of the fruit. But I'm going to put this fruit in the microwave for 1.5 minutes so that it turns into more of like a jam, and then I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, so just taken the fruit out of the microwave and mashed it all together. So now it does look unappealing, but I promise you it tastes really good when it's all together. And I've also just flipped the oats as well. So you can see they're a little bit more brown now, and the fruit has all been kind of mixed together, so it looks more like a jam. I then also add in some of this. Normally I just use honey, but I got this free when I ordered some protein recently. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just add some of that in. There's no measurements. It's basically just because the fruit, because it's frozen fruit, it's not as obviously as nice as fresh fruit. It can go a little bit kind of sour. So to avoid having sour fruit, because I don't want that, I mix some either honey or that sugar-free syrup in, or if I had maple syrup, I'd put that in, to be fair, but obviously you need to track the carbs of whatever you put in. Luckily that's a 0-calorie one, so there's none in there. And then I'm also going to put in 75 to 100 grams of this. I haven't tried this one before. Normally I use either Greek yogurt or just like any kind of whatever's cheapest, to be honest. I like the strawberry onken yogurt quite a lot, but I was in Asda and I thought, well, this is really cheap, I will give it a go. So it's honey Greek style yogurt, so I'll add that in. Then I'm also going to add in 10 grams of chia seeds and 10 grams of sunflower seeds, just to add a little bit more nutrients, a little bit more variety to my diet. It's really important to try and add like as many plants and variations of plants as you can to your diet, and seeds are such an easy way to do that. I always have like a mixture of seeds in the cupboard, and then every day I'll just kind of alternate between what I use. So yeah, today I'm going to use chia seeds and sunflower seeds. So I'm just going to put this all together and then I'll show you the finished product. Again, it will not look tasty, but I promise it tastes good. Okay, so this is where it looks insanely unappealing, but I promise you it is so tasty. I'll put the macros up on the screen. I'll also put the fibre up on the screen as well, because it's a really good way to just kickstart your day with lots of fruit, basically just lots of variety of plants and fibre as well, and just to kind of make everything happy, start the day off in a good way. So yeah, I'll show you the finished product, but again, it doesn't look as good as it tastes. Okay, so that was delicious. Something else I'm also going to have, which is definitely not an optimal pre-workout snack, but I really fancy it, and I have tracked it within my macros for today. And to be honest, I'm not going to be training for about 2.5 hours at least yet, and I've still got another little snack to have on the way. So I'm also going to have 2 12 fingers. Obviously macros aren't incredible, but I think I've said this in a video before, like I have a very big sweet tooth, and on the days where I've got the macros spare, I will just have something like that. Like my fat is quite high at the moment, but again, because we need to, I don't think I've said this yet, we are in desperate need of a food shop, so today's food is not necessarily the best representation of what I eat in a day, but also it's going to show some options of what I kind of have when we've got less food in the house. But yeah, if I'm struggling to hit my fat or whatever for the day and I've got some carbs spare, I will just have some chocolate to hit that. So that is what I'm about to have. Okay, so this is what I'm taking with me. So I've got my squash, 1.5 litres, just obviously hydration, normal reasons. I've got a protein shake for when I finish training, so 2 scoop shake, just my protein would be a little bit low today, just because I am out of the house for most of the day. I've said this before in a video, but I try not to have shakes too much. There's nothing wrong with having them, but I don't typically need them to hit my protein goals, so I try and not have them when I don't have to. I've got 6 strawberries and an apple as my pre-workout snacks, and an Alani Nu. Are they called Alani Nus? Alani? I don't know. Alani energy drink for my pre-workout. So about half an hour before I start training, I will have my apple and start like snacking on my strawberries. And start sipping at that, providing I don't need a wee in the car, because that was an issue last week because it is a 2-hour drive. But yeah, I am now going to head to Powering Through.
Fatal attraction, lovers in action. Yeah. One of us is gonna get hurt. You got your madness, and I'm good at bad habits. Oh, one of us is gonna get hurt. I'm no one to trust, ask anyone, and you will see it. I love for the thrill. I'm dead serious, it's you or me, you best believe it. This is not a drill. This is fatal attraction. These are times of crowds of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. Took a shot for the magic, but we're crashing into tragic. One of us gonna get hurt. I would love to see you cry. I would love to shut you out. Baby, I'm the gift that's never given. Whoa, I don't know what else to say to make sure you stay away. Baby, this is war, but no one's winning. Oh, I'm dead serious, it's you or me, you best believe it. This is not a drill. This is fatal attraction. These are times of crowds of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. Took a shot for the magic, but we're crashing into tragic. One of us gonna get hurt. So if you want your head and heart unbroken, you better leave now, 'cause this is fatal attraction. These are times of crimes of passion. One of us gonna get hurt. You've got the madness in you. I've got the badness in me. You know what you gotta do. If you got any sanity, this is fatal attraction.
Okay, so session is done. Very mixed feelings. I got everything I needed to, so that's good. I'll be honest, I didn't take enough water. I could have filled my drink up, but I didn't. So I did the 182.5 squat, and it was fine. It was slow, but I was very nervous and I was struggling to get in the right headspace. So I kind of went into it not very switched on, which is why I slapped my legs to kind of tell myself, come on, you need to wake up. But I still got it and it was fine. There was room left in the tank as well, so I'm quite happy with that. Although again, I would obviously want it to be faster. The 167.5 triple back off. In the moment I was annoyed, then I was like, this is 2.5 off my best ever triple after a single, and it actually moved pretty well. So I'm happy with that. I think I've had my stance a little bit narrower on squat today and it's definitely felt better. So I need to remember that for next week. And then back off fives at 145 were obviously fine, like nothing to really write home about. But because it's very humid today, I was very hot and sweaty and I feel like I wasn't hydrating enough. So that was my own fault, obviously. But then got onto bench, 112.5. That Alico bench, my butt comes up every time. It's fine. I think on my back downs I kind of fixed it, but everything was slow and nothing felt great. Again, though, I didn't really feel switched on. I didn't really feel in the right headspace to push. Like, I just don't think I worked hard enough. So I'm kind of in the same position. I mean, I'm a little bit more nervous about bench now, but also I know I can read my bench. Like, I know on the day I will just take what's there, and that's not a problem. But, yeah, I'm just a little bit like... It was okay. It wasn't an amazing session. It wasn't a confidence boosting session, but it also wasn't a confidence knocking session per se. Maybe slightly on bench, but again, I know it was just a bad bench day. And I had a good press command on that 112.5 as well, which I've never done 112 with a press command before, so that's another win. It might just mean I open slightly lighter on bench, but I'll talk through openers and stuff probably in the next video that I put up, because I need to take away and kind of watch everything back properly, digest and decide. But no, it was a fine session. I did RDLs as well, but I didn't film them, just 3 sets of 8 at 70. It was okay. It wasn't anything incredible. It wasn't anything terrible. On my back-offs, they were all pretty slow on the last rep. I was kind of just playing around with foot position to see if I could figure out where my butt stayed down the best. And to be honest, there wasn't really one. But I do think on the day I will suck, because my lower back gets quite tight if I tuck too much. So when I'm doing like training sessions, I don't try and tuck that much. So I think on the day I'll just suck it up and tuck that little bit more. But in all honesty, I do think my deadlift is in a point where I can pull what I need for a 500 total or above if I want to go for above that. So we're just going to see. I'm not really going to talk through plans too much in this video. I'm just going to say it was an okay session. It wasn't amazing, wasn't terrible. But also perspective-wise, these are massive comp PBs. So if I can hit these numbers I hit today in this week in comp, that's still a massive comp PB. So need to just focus on that. And yeah, my confidence is a lot lower this block than it has been previous blocks, which I think is why my performance is a little bit worse. Like, my body weight hasn't changed too much. I don't think it's because I'm in a deficit. Like, I'm definitely eating enough. I feel good enough in what I'm eating. I think it is just a confidence thing. So, but anyway, I need to drive home, so I will chat more later. I'm going to have my protein shake on the way home as well, so I will be sipping on that as I drive, but it's a long drive, so I don't need a wee, so I'm going to try and save it until I'm like nearly home. But yes, now I'm going to head home. Okay, so I am home and I am exhausted. That drive home always makes me so tired. Anyway, next meal is very basic. It's literally just a bacon and cheese flatbread. I've used 50% fat cheese just because it's higher protein versus fat content, so it's just a little bit easier to fit into my macros in a flatbread. So very basic, boring, not the most nutritious meal, but it's quick and easy. And I knew that by the time I got home, I would be starving, and I am actually ravenous. I am so hungry. So I'm gonna eat this, and then I'm probably just gonna chill out on the sofa for like an hour or so, and then I've got a little bit of work I want to get done as well. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I feel like now I've had a bit more time to reflect on my session as well. Like, it wasn't as bad as I think it was. I genuinely think at comp, it's just mindset. Obviously fatigue is crazy high at the moment, tapering next week. I'm actually tapering all 3 lifts as well. Like bench, I knew I was gonna have a bit of a taper on. Squats, I'm also gonna taper. So by next Sunday, I should be feeling extra fresh. I should be confident, like I'm gonna be, can't work words out. I should be confident, like I'm gonna be surrounded by spotters. Nothing bad is gonna happen. I need to just go in, have fun, and kind of be willing to put the work in. I've done the hard part, I've done the training for the last however many months. Like, I am ready to commit to comp day. So this next week is literally just gonna be about recovering. Like the last 2 days as well, my steps have been crazy high for me. So I've mentioned before that I have a much longer walk into the office on a Thursday and a Friday now. So Thursday I did 15k steps, which before I moved, my average steps was barely even like 5k a day. Like, I had to really try to get above that. Just because my life was so central in this one small area. Like, unless I actively went for walks, my steps were really low. And before we moved, because I had so much other stuff to deal with, I did find they were regularly really low. So I've gone from very low step count to very high step count. So yeah, the last 2 days, I think I did 15k steps on Thursday and then 13k yesterday, which for me is a lot of steps. Like, my body is not used to that. So doing that the day before heavy squats and bench obviously will have also had an impact. I was dehydrated for bench as well. And yeah, like, I haven't eaten as much. Like, I've eaten the amount of calories I need. Like, I'm not saying I wasn't fueled for my session, but I also think on comp day I'll be able to eat that little bit more straight after weigh-in. I won't be worrying about fitting into my macros or anything. So I'll have a little bit more leeway to kind of fill myself up a little bit more as well. And I wasn't as hydrated as I could have been because of the fact I didn't want to need a pee on the drive. Last week I overhydrated before I left, out of the thing of I wanted to make sure I was hydrated when I got there, but then I literally needed a pee the entire time, and I had to use the dingiest, most disgusting, like, petrol station toilets. So I wanted to try and avoid that this week if I could. So I think in retrospect, I actually probably should have just drunk more and risked going for a wee on the drive. That's a lot of ramble. Basically, the session was fine. It was absolutely fine. And the only thing, like I said this in the last video as well, the only thing between me and PBs now is confidence. And I need to go in massively confident next weekend. So the plan for the next week is to just relax, de-stress, rest up a bit more as well, not get as many steps in the 2 days leading into comp. I've got an extra day of rest as well because I'm competing on the Sunday, so I'm going to do my normal session on Wednesday, but my taper version of my normal session. I'm going to do my accessory day on Thursday, but it's literally going to be minimal work. Like, it's probably not even worth doing at this point. Like, it's going to be hardly anything. And then I've got 2 full days of rest before Sunday. The other thing as well that I think would have had an impact today as well is I did literally drive for just under 2 hours and then train. Like I didn't really get any steps in between or anything. I literally got out of the car after a 2-hour drive, put my kit on and squatted. So that will also, it won't have made a massive difference, don't get me wrong, but I don't need a massive difference next weekend. I just need a slight difference to be able to squat that a little bit more. And I think bench will also feel better as well. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna eat this because I'm really hungry. Okay, so excuse the state of me. I'm now about to tuck into my final meal of the day, so I just wanted to show you. Now, I think I mentioned earlier that we are long overdue a food shop and we're running out of fresh food and it's basically just eating whatever's left at the moment. Part of the reason I haven't done one yet, like I could have done one today, is because depending on my body weight will depend on my macros for the next week. So if I'm still sitting quite heavy like Monday, I will probably start cutting carbs back and increasing fat just to drop a little bit of extra water weight. So until I kind of weigh myself Monday morning, I don't really know what my macros are going to be. I might go and do a generic food shop tomorrow and just stock up on like lots of different bits that will have a longer date on. But yeah, basically, this final meal does not look appetizing. I'm hoping it'll taste fine. I'm sure it will. It is literally 200 grams of potato. I think it's about 250 grams of chicken breast, a pepper, some onion, some low-fat cheese, and some mayo on top, and it's just all shoved in a bowl. I literally just shoved it on the pan. Done, easy. Soften the potato in the microwave before I put it in the pan. Also used a pan that does not have much non-stick left, so that pan looks awful and is gonna need to soak for a long time. But it's fine. Anyway, yeah, so this is my just chuck it together, get the rest of my macros in meal. But it is gonna be a nice meal, and to be fair, I'll be filling. So yeah, let me show you. But again, disclaimer, it does not look appealing. Okay, so just finished all my food for the day then. End of day macros, let's load them up. We have got 169 protein, which my target is about 175. I try and stay within 5 grams of that either way, so I'm literally just out of that bracket, so that's absolutely fine. Carbs, 233. Again, goal is 230, try stay within 5 grams, so that's perfect. And then fats, 67, which is literally perfect. I try and stay between 65 and 70, so very happy with that. Macros are exactly where I needed them to be. I do plan my food out like either first thing in the morning or the night before, so that I know I'm gonna hit my macros and I don't have to worry about like juggling things to make them fit. And especially today, like I knew I didn't have a lot left in the house, so it was literally just chuck together what we've got and make it work. So that is kind of what I've done. And then other thing as well that is important to check is fiber. So fiber, I hit 27 grams, which isn't loads, but it's fine. Like I'm quite happy. As long as I stay above 25, I'm pretty happy. So yeah, and considering, like I say, we do not have a lot of fresh stuff in the house at the moment, I feel like I've not done too badly in terms of like fruit, veg, plants. So very happy. It's been a good day of eating, to be fair. Again, considering we haven't got a lot in the house, but I definitely need to do a food shop. The main reason I haven't done a food shop, which I would have normally done like when I got home today, is because I don't know what my macros are going to be next week. It kind of depends on what my body weight is sitting at tomorrow and Monday as to whether or not I start cutting carbs slightly and increasing my fat just to keep my calories the same, but to drop a little bit of water weight from the carbs, or if I'm just going to wait until the end of the week to do potentially like a little bit of food manipulation, cut my fiber down, a little bit of a gut cut type thing. So I'll need to do a food shop either tomorrow or Monday. I don't know if we've got enough in the freezer to tie me through for tomorrow, so I might just have to go tomorrow. But I'm basically just concerned that if I do buy like loads of fresh food, that it's just going to go off and we might not have room in the freezer. So I don't want to waste anything, basically. That was a lot of ramble. Yeah, so anyway, full day of eating is done. Kind of decent food, I guess. It wasn't amazing, probably not the best example. I will try and do more of these where I actually show more of what I'm eating. Like this was literally a bit of a shambles. But yeah, main things I try and focus on with my diet though, and with clients as well, is macros as a whole, making sure I'm getting the right macronutrients in, the right amount of them, staying within my target ranges. But also it's variety of nutrient dense foods. So I don't know if you might have heard of this. It's like counting the amount of plants you eat in a week is like a trendy thing at the moment. Essentially, I just try and make sure I get a variety of plants each day. So plants isn't just fruit and veg, it's also seeds, nuts, it's spices, herbs, like anything kind of naturally fresh, like naturally grown type things. So that is why I said earlier in the video, like for my scrambled oats or granola, whatever you want to call it, that I have for breakfast, every day I alternate what seeds I put on them so that I know that I'm getting a variety of like I can't can't get my words out, getting a variety of like nutrient sources, even just first thing in the day. I often switch up the berries and stuff that I use in my oats as well, first thing in the morning. At the moment, I'm just doing blueberries and raspberries just because they're what we've got in the freezer. But sometimes I buy a bag of mixed fruits as well, or like mixed berries, just so there's a bit more variety in there. It's just like easy little things to just make your food a bit more nutrient dense without massively changing your diet and your makeup of your diet, so that it doesn't feel overwhelming trying to make those changes. And that's something that I always work on with my clients as well. Like, I get them to write food diaries so that I can then suggest tiny little changes that they can make to their meals without having to uphaul and completely change their weekly food shop or anything like that, or their routine, and just to get that extra nutrients in their diet, because it is very important. Anyway, that was a lot of ramble. I'm going to wrap this video up here. I will talk through more of comp feelings, thoughts, everything in the next video, because the next video will be posted when I am 2 days out, so that's a little bit scary. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I don't really know how I'm feeling about today's session. I'm just accepting it as it was. Bench just annoyed me because bench was the loyal lift until today. But I know I'm very good at reading my bench, so I know on the day it will be fine. I'll just take what's there, and that is literally what I have to remember, just take what is there. But I also think I went into today's session with very low confidence, not because I thought I was going to fail anything, but just because I don't know, my confidence has dropped a lot this block. I've definitely mentioned this already in previous videos, but I need to just find that confidence back this week. This week is all about recovery, building my confidence back up, and yeah. So anyway, I need to stop talking and end this video here. So thank you if you've made it this far. I really genuinely appreciate it. Please leave a comment to let me know if you have made it this far. Leave a like as well, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you on Friday for the next video.